It's a big week, just particularly where we are right now in the standings, and what it means to try and win home games. And it's two really good programs. Two programs had obviously a ton of success as of late. Going to the NCAA tournament, advancing in the NCAA tournament. To UCLA is such a storied program. It's the last time that they'll be here, in a Pac-12 game. So, we're just hoping that people are paying attention, our fan bases, to how we've been playing the last few weeks and where we stand right now, and how important it is to show out tomorrow and come to the game.
Coach, is it kind of humbling after starting us so hot in Pac-12 play, taking a loss to Washington like that?
I wouldn't use the word humbling. There have been other times that word might be a little more applicable this season than the Washington loss. I thought it was very much a dead even game if you remove about 3 minutes from about the 10.5 minute mark to 7.5 minutes of the second half, where we struggled to make a stop or make a shot, and they were able to get it to low doubles, and it was hard to recover from that, especially on the road. So just kind of stressed with the team for future games like that. The more we can avoid a situation where we're not getting any stops, or we can't trade baskets. I think you got to be able to do one or the other, right? You got to be able to sit down and get stops if your offense is struggling, and if you're if you can't stop your opponent, you better keep scoring with them, and we weren't able to to accomplish that. And I thought Washington played very well.
Since Phillips has come back, he's kind of really maximized his minutes in the rotation. What did you kind of see from him, and how do you feel like that?
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Sean Phillips.
Yeah.
He's really kind of maximized his minutes. How do you feel like he's kind of impacted the team, and what are some things you're looking forward to with him?
Yeah, it's nothing that I haven't said before about Sean. He's our youngest player. He's 19 years old. He's still learning the game. He's very, very gifted kid. He's gonna, I think, be a guy that is going to continue to get better. It's not going to be a straight line to the top for him. There's going to be learning and growing throughout the process, but he makes us a different team when he could play above the rim and challenge shots and rebound and do some of the things that he brings to the floor.
It's been a few games, but how do you feel that he's starting to get his game legs back under him as you give him more and more minutes?
Yeah, I liked how he responded in Seattle, especially in the first half. He was really good coming off a game where he was in foul trouble, in our Colorado game, and had 4 fouls and only a few minutes of action. So I think he learned from that and was able to keep himself out on the floor, and did a good job. This is a tough year for a young center to come into the Pac-12. When you look at guys like Carlson, front court players like Carlson and Dante and Ballo and all these guys, and Bona now on Wednesday. There's just a lot of really good players at his position, so he's going to get tested every night.
Any update on Meeks and Long? Keep asking.
Yeah, I know. It's Bryson's coming along. He was doing some skill work in practice today. I think he's getting closer. I don't think he'll make the game tomorrow, and I think he would be very questionable for Saturday right now. And Zane is the same. I would just say indefinitely with Zane at this point.
Just on the aspect of size in the Pac-12 and evaluating that versus time with Silicon game and Sean Ryan before at the same time, how are you evaluating the options of a big man lineup versus this 4-guard lineup you're going to use?
Yeah, I'm gonna see what that looks like. With that lineup, it's a little bit tough for us in terms of our shooting and our floor spacing on offense, but it definitely makes us a better interior defensive team and rebounding team. So I would say that there's a chance, especially with some of the bigger teams, that we're going to be playing on our schedule, that could be, a lineup that we potentially go to.
Is it too early to kind of start looking at quad 1 wins and bad losses, and is it kind of too early to start looking at those?
I think for us, it's we have to have a different mindset. It's we got to run our race in the Pac-12 and see how far we could take that. Like, that's all. We can't change the past and what we did in the non-conference, and some of the wins, according to the net rankings, have been favorable for us with SMU and San Francisco, but we still, we got a lot of work to do, and right now we're in pretty good position coming into this game, but we're playing a team that I think is got a lot of pride, that their coach is is an excellent coach that really demands top performance. They're one of the hardest playing teams that I've seen on film, and they found something on offense versus Washington. They performed better at that end of the floor, which really took their team to a different level. But it'll be one of the best defensive teams that we'll face in UCLA, and that's a reflection of Mick Cronin, the job he does there, and those guys really play hard for him.
Adam and Sean, getting their feedback on them over these past few games. Where do you see the trajectory of this team when they have consistent weeks back together?
I think it remains to be seen. It just depends, what our commitment is to understanding what we did when we had won 4 in a row and what that looked like, and how do we practice and prepare that way, and have the confidence to go out and perform when the lights are on. So I told them in Washington, I said, we got to understand, fellas, we're 4-0. Washington played really well. I mean, we got to expect that from our opponents. We have a little bit of a target. It's not this huge target. It's a small target, but it's a target. We got people's attention how we started the league. So teams are going to be ready to play against us, and we have to be prepared for that.
Understanding that target, what was the message to the group this week with these 2 LA schools, and then potentially setting up a top of the Pac-12 matchup against them?
Well, again, I'm not into moral victories, and losing kills me, but at the same time, like I said, man, we played a winning game, and we just didn't play, winning basketball for 3 minutes. So it was hard to be overly disappointed, because I thought we gave a max effort, and it just we came up short in the game. So it's just more all right, just let's refocus. It's a big week in front of us. They're exciting games against programs that have been the leaders in our conference for years.
Do you expect any more media attention when USC comes in Saturday?
Additional.
With Bronny James and all that hoopla?
I mean, I would anticipate that, there's a little extra, juice to the game. It's on Big Fox Network, and it's an afternoon start, which is going to be different for our team. We're usually on at 8 or 9 o'clock at night most of the time. So be interesting to see how the guys perform at that time. But really, that's all we're thinking about right now is UCLA, and all we've done in our preparation is thinking about that team that is coming off a really good win at home versus Washington.
Only one game last week, a little extra time. How much did that help you guys reset maybe?
Well, when you have these gaps, you have to take advantage of them. So we kind of saved legs right away after that, and then we practiced. I felt really well today, and we practiced fairly good yesterday. We had a kind of a lighter workout on Saturday. So with knowing that UCLA had to play a game on Sunday, our advantage maybe is that we'll be fresher, have fresh legs. They might be a little sharper coming off a more recent game, but so you try and take advantage of that as much as you can.
What does it say about the league and its competitiveness that a team like Washington beat you guys pretty handily, and then a couple days later comes in and can't really take care of things against UCLA?
I just think it's life in a power conference. No matter where you are, all across the country, it's happening everywhere. That these programs know each other very well. It's very difficult to win on the road. I think Washington got a taste of that. So so anytime you can win, those road games, they're huge. So we have to be fully aware that that's what our opponent's thinking. They proved that they could play well and win at home, and I'm sure their coaches now say, well, now you're getting 2 of the top teams in the standings on the road. What do you got? So we got to be ready for it tomorrow night.
Does that add a little bit extra when you play at home, 2 home games where you are going to be favored in both of them? Making sure that you finish 9-0 at home.
I think it's more of with this team, a lot of our players that are West Coast kids have grown up watching UCLA be very successful, and this is the last time that UCLA will play a Pac-12 game here in Tempe, and if you're not excited to play a program like that, then you're probably in the wrong business. So I think, you sense that your team understands that opportunity, and will try and take advantage of it.
Coach, you mentioned practice like the last couple of days being pretty good. What have you seen in practice that made you say that? Like, is it execution at a high level, shots falling? What do you look at?
Well, I mean, we were bad yesterday. I might not have been clear on that. We didn't have a good day yesterday, and it was coming off an off day on Sunday. Was our day off this week. So, we talked at the end of practice about how important today's day was. Today was just, very focused, concentrated, very well, communicated well in a positive way. And then the basketball, just the quality of the play, was there, and there was a sense that the guys are gearing up for tomorrow night.
And you mentioned, I want to go back a couple weeks to after Northwestern, got a lot of guys, then you didn't necessarily see people cheering for their teammates or being excited for their teammates' success. Does that mean you've seen like a lot more of a change over the last couple weeks, and even yesterday? So. I mean,
winning helps. Winning certainly helps. So winning, 4 out of 5 since that game, having the Christmas break to soul search a little bit, to come back to practice well again, to see a more connected team. That's all you could hope for, really, as a coach. You could tell that the communication was far better. That the guys appeared to play more connected, played for each other a lot more.
Coach, over the last 3 games, Jabari Neal's averaged 13 points per game, but more notably, he shot in 58% from the field. What have you liked from him over the stretch, and how has his approach been to become more efficient throughout the season?
Yeah, he's been terrific this week. He was one of the few that practiced very well yesterday, and had another good day today. I think he's feeling more comfortable, knowing he's going to play the minutes he's playing. He's in his role. Playing both ends of the floor. He missed a couple of blockouts versus Washington that we talked about in that second half, and but his defense has been very solid, as it was at the end of the Stanford game and other examples. So he's doing more than just looking to score. He's doing making a lot of winning plays out there.
Neal's really had success at the end of last season, the Pac-12 tournament, kind of found his footing, and then had that slow start in the start of the season. How have you kind of seen him grow, just kind of as the games and his career's developed apart?
I mean, he's just being more reliable guy, a guy that I'm having a hard time, taking off the floor. So that's usually the best compliment you could get out of me, is that I don't want to take you out. I'm not looking for a reason to take you out of the game. He's, if anything, I need to find a way to maybe just cut his minutes enough that he really has got full energy late in the game to help close games out. So but he's doing it. With his defense, with his rebounding. He's one of the best rebounding guards we have, certainly, in the program. And, so I'm excited about where he is and where he's beginning to take this season individually.
You mentioned this being the last time UCLA will come to Tempe. I imagine it's kind of a subplot that after spending enough years in this conference, is that something in the back of your mind as we get to this time of the season will be some of the last games against some of these programs? Yeah,
I mean, I'm very appreciative of the history of the game, and I've been an East Coast guy, but I've been out here now 9 years, so I've really developed an appreciation for West Coast basketball and what that means. And again, I said it before, UCLA is one of the most storied programs in college basketball. So this being the last time, we want to go out there and empty the tank and, against an opponent of that caliber. And there are standards in that program, regardless if they've had a tough, stretch at the beginning of the season. You could see kind of a different team in their last game. And so that's a dangerous team that's coming here. And, we have to be fully prepared. But I really, am a big fan now. I've become a fan of West Coast basketball, and this is kind of a league that no longer will exist, so you try and just soak in every moment you can.
You mentioned the offense that UCLA showcased on Sunday. Obviously, the big man Vana is going to be a challenge for you guys. How do you plan to combat him after he was really, really effective shooting the ball?
Yeah, just like any top player in your league, you try and make things difficult as possible without going into specifics about how we're going to guard him, but just challenging, his touches. You keep a ball out of his hands, it's going to be hard for him to score the ball, and kind of starts there. But it's a collective approach with a player like him. We can't expect to leave Gaffney or Salabange or Phillips on an island with a player like that that's really coming into his own. He's one of the top players in our league, and they're going to be very focused on. They've been very focused on throwing the ball inside, obviously, and their guards attacking the paint. So, that's going to be something that's going to be very important in this game. And we've had a few that we've struggled to rebound. So, when you have a team that's this big, we better have our hard hat, be ready to go after the ball tomorrow.